Hi folks, it's Metz here from Devon. I have previously done an everyday carry first aid suggestions of what you might want to take with you when you go for a walk with your dog. But today I want to do a budget version if I can. So we'll start off with these cases. I bought 3 of them on Amazon for $9.99, and I think probably the red one would be a good choice to do your first aid. So that's 5.5 inches by 6.5 inches. But just to show you, this is my Galaxy A52, and as you can see, it would struggle to get in there comfortably. And if you did get that in there, then you wouldn't have any room for anything else really. So if you did want to take a phone, then maybe this one would be a better choice. So this one is 6 inches by 8.5 inches. So but I think they're quite robust. They're called tool pouches, and they're waterproof, and they've got a 3-year warranty on them. But I'm going to show you these. Now, these are knives, and I'm sure that many of you might say, why on earth would I need a knife when I go for a walk with a dog? But I can promise you, over the last 50 plus years of me owning dogs, not just single dogs, but packs of dogs, and training dogs and rescuing dogs, they can get themselves into all sorts of difficulties. But one of the ones is with collars. And this is a really old collar that I found in my garage, and it's probably about 30 years old. But I just want to show you is that if you needed to cut this off, if a dog was trapped, and imagine if this was leather especially, and it might not be your dog, it might be another person's dog, or your dog trapped in another dog's collar if they've been playing. It doesn't necessarily have to be aggressive. All of the incidents that I've seen have been with dogs playing with other dogs. So you do need some kind of implement that will do the job and cut this off, and quickly. So I'm going to talk to you about these knives. So this was the one I showed you on the previous video. This is a Victorinox, £28.39. But here is a cheap version. It's called a Draper, and this was under £5. It was £4.95. But as you can see, it has the similar kind of tools on it. Now, I must tell you first off about the law in the UK regarding knives. A knife must be under 3 inches, the blade, and it must not be locking. So here you are, there's 2.5 inches. So that's well within the law. And there is no locking mechanism in this. So then I found this one. Because if you look at the size comparison to these, there, do you see? This one is lighter and thinner, but this one, now, if you compare this one to this here, you will see how much thinner this is. Now, this is a Victorinox Walker. By coincidence, it's called a Walker. It's £15. So it is obviously more expensive, but then, you know, if you need something in a hurry and you want to guarantee it works, maybe a Victorinox is the answer. I don't know. I haven't tested this one out, but what we are going to do is I am going to test them out for you. So I'm going to get this collar and I'm going to cut it up in another video, and it will be called Let's Talk About Collars. And I'm going to cut this up using various knives to see which is the best one that would cut a collar and whether it will do the job or not. Because if you look at something like this scissors, this is a really cracking little scissors that I've had for years and years, but you can see that this would really struggle to cut that, especially in a hurry. And, you know, imagine if dogs are trapped, you know, you really need to move fast. So you do need something that, like a knife, really. Now, this one, I bought this, and it is a lovely knife, and it's really sharp. And I thought it was under 3 inches, but actually, the blade actually starts from here, and according to the specifications, it's 3.1. And also it has a locking mechanism. So this is not legal carry in the UK. And if you got caught with this, you would be in serious trouble. Okay, so stick to something that's legal carry. And even so, even though it is legal, really, you wouldn't want to be going into a pub and having a drink carrying a knife. So leave it at home if you're going out for the evening. Because the police wouldn't be impressed if they caught you with this in your pocket or your bag if you're out drinking. Okay, so we'll put those aside and we'll talk about knives. I will do a separate video on knives on their own. So now we're talking about bandages. Now, this was the bandage that I suggested in the previous video, but for the budget version, I want to show you, this is super, but as you can see, it is quite bulky. And it certainly would take up nearly all of the space in here. But if you look at these, now these are called vet bandages, vet wrap. And obviously, as the name implies, they are used by the vets. And when I had my horse many years ago, I had her for, 20 plus years. And she was very, very special horse. And obviously broke my heart when I lost her, when she died. But in fact, this was her stable that I'm in here now. And during COVID, I've converted it into my workshop and my filming area. So it's very special to me, this stable where I am. Now, so this opens up here like this. And then when you put it on, we used to wrap the horse's legs with this, especially when they were travelling, and put felt pads underneath them. Of course, we used much bigger versions of these. But if you squash these down like that, you can get them in easier if you need it. But you probably would only need maybe this one for a dog, because if you had one that was too small, if you just had this and you had a bigger area, so you'd probably be best just to take this one. But if you use this, you have to have some kind of padding underneath. So let's say that your dog has got a cut. First of all, you need to wash it. So you need something that you can carry that is safe to use on your dog. And this is like magic water. And you get this on Amazon, and it was $4.99 for this bottle. And it is so safe because I have got an immune problem. And I have to be very, very careful what I put on my skin. And I have been washing my face with this twice a day with a cotton pad to clear up my skin, because my immune was affecting my skin. And it also affects my hands and my lungs and everything. But I'm fine, so don't worry about me, I'm fine. But just to let you know that this is how safe I feel that this is. And it is even safe to swallow. You can use it in your eyes, your ears, your nose, and your bottom. And it kills 99.9% of bacteria. So it is just like water. You can drink it, I don't suggest you drink it, but, if it goes into your mouth, it's absolutely fine. So you can decant it into smaller containers to carry with you, maybe a spray one like this. And then what you need is to have some kind of sterile dressing like this. This is Melalin. And I got a box of these, and they worked out at 53p each. But you can probably get them cheaper, maybe in your local supermarket. So you put this pad on once you've cleaned the wound, and this doesn't stick to the cut, so it's easy to remove. And then you need some kind of padding. So you need some kind of something like this, that's a gauze that will, pad out the area. But you need it thicker than this. You need more of these. And then once you've got it padded out, you can even put a sock. If it's, say, for example, a paw, you can put a sock over it. And I'm sure, like me, you've got dozens of spare one socks that have come out of the washing machine. Children's socks are ideal, obviously, depending on the size of the paw. But then once you've got your padding, which has to be thicker than this, and it can be anything because you've already got your sterile dressing, and then your padding, and then you put this on, and this sticks to itself. So you shouldn't need a microporous tape like this, but you know, maybe you do. It might be an idea to keep this in your car anyway. But so they're the bandages. And now we're going to talk about torches, because nearly every dog owner might need a torch. Now, this is the one that I spoke about in the previous video. This one here, $23.75. So I was looking for a cheaper version to this, and I have found this one. But as you can see, it is quite a bit chunkier and heavier. So you might find it's too heavy to carry on a walk. So as you can see, it's 6 inches compared to this one, which is just under 5 inches. So I really like this one. But one of the reasons that I chose this is I think that this is a super torch, because you get it in this case. Now, it's supposed to be super bright. It's 2000 lumens. It's zoomable, and it's waterproof. And it is a USB charger, and it has a cycling mount here and a holster. So I think for this price, and I think I might have got this on a lightning deal. So, you know, if you wait until they sort of, maybe you have the same opportunity to get yours cheaper. And it has got 5 modes. So it's an end button press, and then you go through the different modes. So it's got an SOS and a strobe. So it's got high, medium and low, and strobe and SOS. And not, as in my previous video, I said SAS. You don't get an army of fighting fit coming over the horizon when you do. You might get somebody in a little rowing boat coming to help you. Yes, yeah, it was quite funny when I said SAS. Anyway, back to the torch. This, I think, is a brilliant idea. Now, when I first researched these and I saw that you actually charge this up separately and not through a part in the torch here, is that you actually put this onto here and charge it up, whichever way round it goes. Yes, that's correct. Okay, and then you charge it up. You don't get the plug, but you do get this with it. And the reason that this is good is because you can buy these and keep them charged up and just keep some spare ones in your pocket. So if you do run out, then you can just change it over and you've always got some spare ones. So I think that that's quite a good idea. But also with this torch, you get this. And I think they've kind of thought of everything, because they even give you the batteries for this. So this goes in here, and then you put the end on, and there. So you can carry that around with you. And can you see? So I think for that kind of money, I think it's super value. Let me just turn it off and then show you how it fits into the pouch here, like that. So you can always stick it on your belt and then off you go. There we go. Okay, so that's that torch. Now I'm going to talk about these magic torches, which I absolutely love. I think these are the best things since sliced bread. I love them. Okay, so what you get for the price is, let me see how much they are. I think they're £16. I've got it on here. Silly me. £16.14. So this attaches onto here and it slides off. So you've got the 2 headbands and the 2 torches. Now, so what you can do is take this one with you, and you can put it around your head or around your arm. That's not going to fit my waist ever in this time, in this year, in this century. Okay, but if you did want to put on something else, you could put on one that was around your waist. Now, and keep this one in your pocket. When you take this off, you expose these two magnets and this clip. So you can have this in your pocket, and then if you're in trouble and you're, say there's a car accident or something, you can put one on the front of a car, take this off and put that one on the front and one on the back to warn traffic that there's a problem. But I want to show you how clever this is. They are rechargeable, by the way. Okay, so you turn it on. Okay, so you go through the modes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and off. Okay, so we start again. 1, 2, 3. Now just keep it on that mode, but it doesn't matter what mode it was. It works on all of the modes. But if you press this button, which has got a little hand on it, this is where the magic starts, because I think this is so clever. Because I'm going to show you. Nothing happens. Can you see? Nothing happens. And then when I press this, it goes off and it goes on. How clever is that? Look. I think it's absolutely super. Look. And then you turn that off again and then it just goes back to normal. But I think that this is super if you've got a problem and you need to alert people. I think that they're great for that price, about £7 each. 7 times 14, 50, £7 or £8 each. I think that they're great. So that's that. Now we're going to talk about this. This is a foil blanket. Well, it's two actually, £2.89, but I'm pretty sure you can get these for £1 each if you search around on Amazon. But really, these are essential for your first aid, because if your dog is injured, seriously injured with a car accident, or fell in a cold river or a stream or ice or whatever, is that you need these to wrap your dog up in. And ideally, if you've got a towel in your car or a blanket, to wrap them over this. So the towel obviously to dry them, and a blanket then to wrap over this. Now I'm going to talk to you about these. These are called blanket pins. So let's go back to this, where the dog is injured and you need to get it to a vet or to help, is that once you've wrapped it in this and then you've wrapped it in your blanket, then you've got these. Now, many, many, many years ago, decades ago, I used to be on emergency ambulances in London, and I was on them for 14 years. And when we were carrying somebody down the stairs, it's quite terrifying for the patient, and they always try to grab onto the banister. So the way to stop that is you have a carrying chair and you put the patient into the chair, but underneath the patient you have a blanket, and then you wrap them with the blanket and swaddle them, and then you pin the blanket so that their arms are secure and their legs. So you use these down the blanket so that they can't grab hold of the banister, because otherwise you'll all end up on the floor, down at the bottom of the stairs. But it's the same idea for dogs. Obviously, if you've got a dog that's injured, you need to secure it and make sure that it's comfortable and it can't jump up and run away, because if it's fearful. And then if you secure it with this and it feels all swaddled, and it may well calm it down, and it will wrap up its little legs so that it will feel secure. And then at either end, if you've got certainly somebody at the other end to help you, you can then pick up the blanket to put in the car, and it will keep the dog secure while you're travelling. So they're a really good idea. Now, of course, these are always a good idea if you need a few of these in your first aid kit for the antibacterial wipe. This one came from a supermarket and they're fairly cheap. And you can have some butterfly strips, something like this. You would probably need then to have something to shave the dog if you wanted to put these on, so that they would stick, because obviously they need to stick to skin. But if your dog has got a cut, then butterfly strips. These are only £1.99 a packet, and you get 36 in here. So I got these on Amazon as well. So they're always handy to have in the house anyway, and just put a few in your first aid kit. Now you need these. Every dog owner needs these. Now I've got 3 of them somewhere. I've lost one. Oh, here it is. Okay, so here we've got 3 of these. Put that over there. And they were $3.98. Now I'm pretty sure that you can get these cheaper than that, but I just got them, and they're plastic, and I haven't tested them out, so I don't know whether they're any good. But I'm just giving you a cheaper version than the ones I showed on my previous video, which were these ones. Now, if you could stretch to getting these, I'm suggesting that maybe these would last longer, and that they might be better for the job. But I don't know, these might be just as good. But these, you can just put these into your bag. These are $7.99, these are $3.98. There's not a massive difference in them, but I do think that these will last you forever. Okay, so let's put those out of the way. And then, of course, every dog owner has probably got one of these, or 6 of them. They seem to come with everything. Everything you buy seems to have these with them. And a after bite stick. Now, this was $3.98. So if you need a cheaper version, and you can have a sort of an almost natural way of dealing with a bite, and it's vinegar or bicarbonate of soda. Now, bicarbonate of soda, you can carry in a powder mix and just mix it up with a bit of water to make it into a paste and put on the bite. Or the vinegar, you just put on with a little tissue or something like that, or a little pad. And how to remember which bite goes with which sting. And this is how I was always told how to remember it, is that bicarbonate of soda goes with bees. So bees and bicarb. Bees, bicarb, bicarb, bees. Okay? Or vinegar with wasps. So vinegar with wasps. So that's a good way of remembering it, isn't it? Vinegar with wasps and bicarb with bees. Okay. So now, if you need, I think I bought these thinking that they were smaller. I didn't really pay much attention when I bought them. They look like the ones that we used to have years ago and put on the dogs' collars to put your address inside them. Okay. But when they came, I saw that they were much, much bigger than I expected to. But I am really pleased with them. I love them, actually, because I keep one on my bag and I keep one on my first aid kit. And I keep one on my main first aid kit in the car. So you can put various things, obviously, inside them. But the one that I keep on my first aid kit and on my bag, is I put some money in it, so that I have always got a bit of cash with me. So in here, I put £10 note, and also around the outside of it is my medical condition, because I have got an immune problem and I'm on immune suppressant drugs. So if anything happens to me, if I got knocked down or something like that, then the doctors would need to know that I am on this medication, because obviously my immune is suppressed. So now it does affect my hands, and as you can see, my hands do get swollen and puffy. So, but when I was young, we used to have these on dog collars. And I can absolutely tell you that you always ended up with about 3 of these on your dog collars and none of these bits, because they used to always disappear. And so you'd get another one and stick it on the collar. So you'd always end up with loads of these bits and none of these bits. So what we used to do is put nail varnish around there, and then do it up so that it sort of stuck it, if you like. But it was still easy to get open. But these have got a rubber thing here, and they really do close up tightly and securely. So I don't think that this will probably come apart. Okay, so that's those talked about. Now, a whistle. So, right, I always carry a whistle everywhere because I carry a clicker. And I'm going to explain to you in other videos about my work with rescue dogs and how I solved many of their issues, because there is nothing like the sound of a clicker. It is unique, and you can work with a dog that is terrified and hiding under a table, that's been abused or is mentally shut down and been in rescue for maybe up to 2 years. And the way that I work with them is to use a clicker. And I'm going to explain how my methods in other videos, so that maybe if you've got a dog in a similar situation, it might help you. So, because you can click and throw a treat with just the movement of an ear, or a little tiny wag of the tail, or just even the softening of an eye. When the fear just goes for a second, you can click and throw the treat. So you're working with the dog's mind. It doesn't matter whether the dog is a little tiny thing or a huge, great big dog. It doesn't matter. You're working with the mind with the clicker. And the whistle game, I want to show you the whistle game in other videos, because I think it's just the best fun. And I have worked with hundreds, thousands of dogs using the whistle game, because the whistle shows no fear, it shows no panic, it doesn't get angry, it cuts through wind and rain, and the dog can hear it for miles. And if the dog is lost, one of the aims of my whistle game is that if the dog hears it miles away, and here, because we're very rural, it might be fields and fields away, or in woods away, is that what you want is the dog to find you. So the whistle is so that the dog stops everything it's doing, and when it hears this whistle, comes galloping back to find you. So I'm going to show you the whistle game, but also it's kind of good if you're in trouble that people would hear it. So now, I've seen quite a few of this idea on other YouTube channels, and I thought, well, I better include it, because otherwise people will say, well, where's your garden ties? So I've included some garden ties, some earbuds, and a straw with some Gorilla tape around it, and some elastic bands. I have got no idea what you might need them for, but I've included them anyway, so you don't all shout at me, okay? And a pen. So you've got a pen and the scissors I showed you here, so we get those out of the way. And I've got some magic to show you in a minute. Okay, now this, you really, really need one of these. These are the best things since sliced bread. And you save up your pennies and you get one of these, because if the reviews and the videos that I have seen on YouTube regarding these, then they could save you, your family, or your dog and your dog's life, or some other dog's life. You attach it onto your keys so you have it very near you when you're driving your car. And if you get into an accident, or if your car goes in a river and it's filling up with water, you pull this off. So it releases this as you pull it, and it exposes the seatbelt blade here, which is like butter. It cuts through the seatbelt like butter. And then at this end, you don't have to bang the glass. You shove this into the glass, but not laminated. So not the windscreen, the side glasses, or the back glass, the boot glass, or the roof rack, the roof sunroof. And you push this in, and it will break it almost instantly from the videos that I have seen. So for £8 or £9 each, I bought two for £18 something, and we've got them on two sets of keys, and I think that they are invaluable. But imagine if you were just driving along and you saw a car on fire and you needed to try and help somebody to get out, or if you saw a dog that was trapped in a car and it was collapsed from heat or something like that, then you would have the means, whereas at least you would have a good fighting chance of getting freeing them. So it's called a Rescue Me. Let me see which way round it is. It's called a Rescue Me. So just have a look on YouTube and put that into the search engine, and you will see the videos that I've seen. And I tell you, it is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to show you the magic. Right, these. Have you seen these before? These. Everybody needs these, right? Everybody laughed at me when I first got these. And you get 100 in a packet for about £10. But I wouldn't be without them. Right, so you open them up, and you measure them. And I'll just show you, look here. So look how big it is, look, okay? Right, and you get some water. Now you don't even need this much water, and you put it in there. Now watch how magical it is. I love this. Okay, so you take it out, and look what you got. So if you've never seen one, you'll be like me. Wow, how good is that? Okay, so it's about 8 inches by 10 inches, and now you've got a wet wipe. So you can wash any cuts or anything and use your magic water. You can even use your magic water in here if you want to. And so you can wash the dog's cut or whatever, or if you need to wash your hands, and you know what it's like after you've picked up dog poo, sometimes you might need to wipe your hands, okay? So they're ideal. Or if you've got kids around you and they've got ice cream and things like that. Other videos I'm going to talk about is things like leads and other bags. I've got loads and loads of different ideas. So different bags and different ideas of what you might need or what you might want to take with you. So I'm going to discuss all these in other videos. Okay, so we're going to talk about leads and collars and harnesses and cages and first aid that you might want to carry with you in your car and safety equipment. So we've got exciting videos coming up. So I hope to speak to you all soon, and please subscribe to my channel because it will help it to grow, and maybe it will help other people, other dog owners that are in trouble, because maybe some of my methods might give them some ideas of how to solve their problems. Okay, and don't forget, link below to my free ebook that I have written specially for you, and it runs alongside my new YouTube channel, this one, Teaching Pups. So have a look at the book. Just click on it and it should open up. Obviously, it's better to open it up into a laptop or a tablet because they're bigger, and then you should get double pages. But if you open it up in your phone, you're upright, you will only get single pages. But if you click on the right hand side, it flips forward, and then click on the left hand side and they flip backwards again. And you can expand it, in your phone so that you can read it if the writing is small on your phone. Anyway, I'll speak to you all soon, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.